Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me and, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a while now. I go over their trout, food, and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. It's a fan request episode. Yay! Remains to be seen. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is not really the case today. This was something, like I said, it was a fan request, so I was specifically looking for it. Although it was after work. But yeah, so if you're unaware, by the way, I do try to do fan request stuff. I cannot promise. I would love to. I would love to be promisey McPromisey and actually hold to things. Sometimes I can't find stuff. Sometimes people make requests that are just not super reasonable for my location. Sometimes I forget stuff. But I do try to keep up with it. And this particular request came via one of probably my most, frequent commenter and, supporter on my channel. Thank you to everybody who supports my channel. It's amazing. But Mr. Odeh Kalid, who I've done a few requests for him in the past. He can vouch. I tried to do requests. But he had something specific in mind. I know for him, he's, not too much into the junk food and stuff like that. He kind of likes having those alternative options. And he wanted me to try out something from Boom! What is this? It is, it's a protein bar from a company called Barebells. This is specifically the cookies and cream version. It's naturally and artificially flavored. 2 grams of protein, no added sugar, all that good stuff. It's healthy? So, let's get a thing for the thing first and foremost. Kind of, maybe do it I don't know, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Ha 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 ha! Yeah. But yeah, so, I don't do a lot. I mean, I do some protein stuff in terms of reviews, but it's not really my go-to thing. But, like I said, fan request. Sure, why not? They had a couple other flavors, but I was like, I think the best chance I have of enjoying this is probably cookies and cream. Let's give it a go. I like the way it eats. It eats more like a candy bar. Almost like a Reese's Fast Break. Like you bite into it, you really have to bite and pull off of it. I like that. That's nice. Very chewy. That's definitely a thing with a lot of protein bars. They tend to be very chewy. Problem with the very chewiness is the initial flavor is pretty good. Kind of tastes like not super great candy bar, but an okay candy bar. But then as you chew and chew and chew, the chocolate and stuff like that starts to fade away. And you're left more with that kind of protein bar base. But I will say it's not terrible in this one. It definitely still has that chalkiness, though, that a lot of protein bars do. But again, it's not any way, not in any way egregious. It's not actively hurting the experience too much. It's just something of note. It's kind of almost like an aftertaste. And then the rest of it, you got the nice chocolatey outside. There is a little bit of a cookies and cream aspect. I wouldn't say it's pronounced. And I've tried other cookies and cream protein bars in the past. They tend to be with the cookies and cream flavoring. If you're comparing it against something like a Hershey's cookies and cream, which I remember when I was a kid the first time I had that, and that was a life-changing event. I don't think I ate any other candy bar for the rest of that year. Anytime I got candy, it was always the cookies and cream Hershey's. To the point where I basically was like, okay, I need to not eat any of these for several years, otherwise I'm going to make myself sick. But yeah, for what it is, it's okay. I would say by protein bar standards, it's well above average. Like, it's like a solid B or B plus even. I really like the eating experience. And there is, well, with the exception of the super chewiness, that I could do without. I think if the chewiness was diminished by a little bit, so it was a little bit easier to just kind of get through, I'd be more down with it. But even with it still being there, I do like the fact that, at least at the start, it really does feel like you're just kind of eating an okay candy bar. Not a great candy bar, but, okay. I like the little textural things on it. Yeah. I think overall this is pretty good. Especially for being something I wasn't really coming into with a great deal of anticipation. Because this was definitely one of those things where it's like, all right, it's a fan request, I'll try to kick it in. But yeah, it's not bad. Again, maybe damning with faint praise, but I have to keep it within its own wheelhouse. In terms of being a protein bar, it's not half bad. Like, definitely not half bad. I would say genuinely one of the better protein bar experiences I've had. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, okay, here's the thing. Would I get it again? If I suddenly got into protein bars, probably. I don't think it would be my go-to protein bar. I have had others in the past that I think are maybe a little bit more my style, but not by leaps and bounds. Again, this would still be kind of up there. I would see maybe getting these periodically. Now, here's the thing. Is this going to convert me into protein bar McProtein bar? No. Because at the end of the day, although it's not a bad eating experience in any way, it just, for me, it just tastes like a not as good candy bar. And if I'm not looking for the protein aspect of it, the potential, kind of quasi-healthy aspect, I don't really have any reason to go in for this. I'm just going to get a normal candy bar and just, enjoy myself. But if I'm recommending it, again, who am I recommending it to? Am I recommending it to, just the average person who's just like, I'm at the store, what's that? It's still a protein bar. It is nowhere near as bad as most of the ones that I've had. So there's that. But it still is not, if you're treating it as being like basically a snack or again, kind of like a candy bar equivalent, it's not as good as that. It's just not, it just doesn't have the same zing to it, Plus, again, you do have some of the pitfalls, again, a little bit of the chalkiness and stuff, the extra chewiness. But if we're talking protein bar enjoyers, I'm, like Mr. Odeh Kalid and, other folks, sure. I think in all things considered, it's a pretty good protein bar. I don't actively dislike eating it. I will certainly finish the rest of it without any issue. And that says a lot considering, again, I'm not a protein bar guy, but, so yeah, I think it more than fits within the structure that has been set up for it. And I think it showcases the fact that, maybe we are getting a little bit better, when it comes to making these things. Because I know protein bars, especially, around the first time I had them, probably back in my 20s, I mean, they were garbage. They were just bad on an epic scale. This showcases there's been an evolution, there's been improvements. So there's something to be said for that, even if it's not really my thing. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, hope you yourselves a truly protein-packtastic rest of your life. I mean, protein it up, proteiny guy. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating, just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. First and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Odeh Kalid for going over there and, making the recommendation. I always enjoy the engagement. Plus, it's an opportunity for me to try something that, I otherwise wouldn't have. And, I'd just like to go over there again, just toss out, that is always an option, folks. You can try to tag in on some things. I will do what I can on them, and I'll get to them if/when I get to them. But I do always appreciate it very much. I can't emphasize enough how much I appreciate the support that I get through the channel. It's even for just being a very quaint channel that does what I do, I feel the love. And hopefully you feel the love in your daily lives in any and numerous capacities.